welcome back to another edition. Oh, you're just a frilly, oh my goodness. My wife has got this new vest thingy that's all frilly, and she's a dork. Welcome back to another edition of Under the Bottom Rope, and we are here for day 17 of hashtag Wrestle Challenge 365, and I've watched so many great matches, and we were going to try and do some Survivor Series stuff this month, and I'm still planning on it. We did one match at the beginning with the Elimination Chamber, but I really wanted to see this match. I don't know, ever since I watched that Shinya Hashimoto match, I've been getting back into my Japanese matches. And so I got on New Japan World because I have it, and I love it. It's so worth the money. It's like Network. You know, I have both. And it's great, man. You gotta love New Japan World. It's just so wonderful. There's so much stuff there. And so tonight I was like, I want to watch something classic. I want to watch something, you know, from back in the day, and with people that I'm familiar with. You know, I like discovering new wrestlers and watching them and stuff. But you gotta love checking out, you know, the new guys. But you just want to see your classics. So I went through. I was looking. There's some Dusty Rhodes matches or Hulk Hogan matches that I'm definitely going to have to do on the show. Hogan versus Antonio Inoki. Hogan versus Tatsumi Fujinami, which I never knew happened. And then I found this. Dusty Rhodes versus Antonio Inoki from 1979. So, I mean, that sounds interesting. You know, I'm a big Dusty Rhodes fan, so I'm very interested in seeing how this goes down. So we're not gonna talk too much this time. We're gonna get right into it. You know, if you want to watch with me, and you have New Japan World, just look up Dusty Rhodes. You'll find the match. It's the Fighting Spirit Series, May 11th, 1979, Sapporo. This is for the NWA Heavyweight Championship. Antonio Inoki versus Dusty Rhodes. And so I'm wondering, I mean, Antonio Inoki won the WWF Championship at one point. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Dusty end up losing here. I don't know. This is why I love wrestling. So many questions that need to be answered, and we're going to find out in the next 25 minutes. So don't go away, folks. All right, let's get this show on the road. So let's see. Oh, by the way, it's not English dubs. You know, as you can probably tell. So I'm probably going to bring that down a lot. Keep it up just enough because I like to have some audio. But so. We got the American Dream on one side of the ring. Young American Dream. He's still got the blonde fro thing going on. And the announcements are going on right now. Antonio Inoki in the other side. Oh, you know what? Hold on. We're going to press pause. I'm sorry. I didn't do a countdown or anything. If you want to watch it with me and I told you to search for it, pause me. And then you can, you know, put it to the 43-second mark. Nothing's happened. They're just walking around and doing the announcements. You want to put it to the 43-second mark. We'll press play all together in 3, 2, 1. All right, there we go. So, there's Dusty Rhodes there. Very young Dusty. And, you know, I know that we talk about how Cody sounds like Dusty, but, God, he looks like Goldust so much. He's just got so much. Goldust has so much of his dad in him. You know, Dustin Rhodes has so much of his dad in him. It's ridiculous. You know. All right, so they're gonna. This is for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know who holds the title right this minute. I would think it's Dusty. I would think, but I don't know. 1979. I don't have the information on hand. Well, maybe. You know, maybe I can look up and see. You know, we'll find out. Let me just, they're still doing little thingies here, so let me look. Champion, looking on my phone here. 1979. Alright, match is started. Both men out of the corner, hot like chariots of fire. I can't find the champion right now. We're going to get on this. Big scoop slam from Dusty Rhodes to start her off. He's got Antonio into the corner. See, this is the reason that I'm very interested in this match, too, because you've got this American Dream. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, you know, I mean, just this high, flashy, you know, big American wrestler versus Antonio Inoki, who is the leader of the Japanese wrestling movement of the 1970s and the early 80s. And not only that, was a legit badass. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to get into a shoot fight with Antonio Inoki. We found out how that went with the great Antonio. You want to find that match? It's on YouTube. God, poor guy. Both men kind of back in the ring here. It looks like Dusty's kind of playing the heel here, which I find interesting. All right, Inoki with control of the head here. Got him in a headlock. Cranking down on it. He's doing it under the or over the elbow now. Really cranking on the neck there. Trying to drain some of the energy out of the body. Dusty being drugged to the floor here by Antonio Inoki, who has plainly got control. Antonio's lanky. He's thin, you know. He's got some movement there. Dusty with the elbow now, trying to get out of it, which he does. Both men back at each other. Collar and elbow top, middle of the ring. Antonio able to block it as Dusty went for the elbow there, but it seems these two are kind of on an even keel, you know. So we're going to have to wait and see who. Somebody's going to have to get an advantage out of the two of them. Right now, it's just sort of like it's a grappling matchup here. Dusty going to work on the right arm, sending an elbow into the shoulder. Going to try and drive that elbow in between the shoulder blade and the back. Now pulling the arm back, wrenching it back. Antonio thinking. He's always trying to be a move ahead of anybody he's in the ring with, but Dusty is a challenger. You know, Dusty is a challenge. Both men on the ground here. Antonio taking control. Got him in an MMA-style submission hold with the arm, like a kimono lock almost. But don't quote me on that because I'm not a linguist as far as the maneuver names are concerned. I try, though. I try. He's grating the elbow into the face of Dusty Rhodes there on the mat. Dusty's got a challenge ahead of him here with Antonio. This is not Ric Flair. Ric Flair is not a tough guy to beat, or not an easy guy to beat. But you know, Inoki is a tough bastard. You know, I will say everything I've watched from him, he is just a tough bastard. He's just driving the elbow into that cheek area and, you know, orbital bone there in the eye, or right there in that area of Dusty Rhodes. Now bringing him up off the mat. Both men in the corner. Ref's trying to get in there to break it up a little bit. Some big right elbows from Antonio Inoki. Here comes that famous elbow from Dusty Rhodes. Sends one into the back of the skull of Antonio Inoki, and you know he felt that. And these two here putting on a mat classic right this minute. A lot of grappling. You know, which Dusty can do it all, and so can Antonio Inoki. You know, both guys can grapple, both guys can shoot on each other if they wanted. I mean, they can wrestle, they can grapple, they can hit the mat, they're technical. You know, this was a different time in wrestling, and you had to do it all, and they could do it all. That's one thing's for sure. Maybe they weren't high flyers. I can say that I don't see Dusty Rhodes doing a 619. Antonio with the bear hug now on Dusty Rhodes. Trying to get him up off the mat. Dusty is trying to wiggle out of it. Off the ropes comes Dusty with a big shoulder. Now off the ropes again. Going for another shoulder. Gets arm dragged for his troubles. And Antonio, the momentum shifts again. It's back and forth with these two. Inoki definitely taking the advantage once more. Backing Dusty up onto the ropes here. It looks like he's trying to go for a test of strength. Looks like both men are now. Got a hold of the hair there. Ooh, big slap from Antonio Inoki. Disrespect to Dusty Rhodes there. But that slap just taunting him. Dusty trying to stay focused here. Keeping his eye on the target. Keeping his eye on the prize here. We see Greg Valentine. It looks like Meng, I think, on the outside, which is interesting. Both men on the ropes here. Dusty has the advantage right this minute with the left leg. Sending some knees into that left leg of Antonio Inoki. Could be softening it up to try and hit the figure four later on. But no, it's a trap as Antonio is able to get him in a scissor hold. He gets the right arm behind, or left arm behind the chin, and he's squeezing the life out of the ribs of Dusty, but Dusty is still going to try and work on that left leg. Still going to try and soften him up a little bit. Both men are doing probably the exact same amount of damage to each other right this minute. He's got him locked up in between the knees. Dusty is working on that left knee, putting pressure down. Now he's up off the mat. Nice. He drives an elbow into the thigh and knee of Antonio Inoki. And you see, this is one thing I've noticed, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not as much of an analyst as some of the big guys like Meltzer and such, but I can tell you that watching the little bit of matches that I've seen from Antonio Inoki, he was dangerous on the ground. If you got him on the mat, it was going to be a fight for your life. You know, I will say, in this matchup, the mat technicality, the mat general would have to be Antonio Inoki. Inoki trying to edge towards those ropes, even though he does have control. They're both here struggling on the mat. They got up for just a moment, went back down. Now Dusty's up again. Spinning toe hold on the left leg, right leg. But Antonio is able to get out, but how much damage was done? Because he's definitely favoring that right leg a little bit now. Spinning toe hold. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Oh, man. I used to love spinning toe hold. I just thought it looks like such a great move. Inoki down on the mat again with Dusty after an arm drag, and is holding onto the arm. He's going to work on it. He's got him in an arm lock now. He's pulling the arm back. But he's also, I don't even know what you'd call this. It's almost like he has his arm in a figure four leg lock. It's fucking ridiculous. He's got his arm pulled back, and then his knee wrenching the arm towards the elbow, and so it's cranked, it's kinked almost like a water hose. So he's putting pressure down on it. It looks fucking insane. And he's using his own arm in the crook of the elbow to pull back and put even more pressure on it as he pushes down with his knee. And it's fucking ridiculous. Working on that left arm now of Dusty Rhodes. Antonio Inoki on the mat, like I said, is dangerous. Dusty able to get up. I think he's going to try and power him out of it. Nope, not able to. As Antonio Inoki is able to reverse it. Dusty tries again to get out of it. He almost rolls him up. They're just rolling back and forth like they're in a bear or something. Dusty able to get his leg to the rope. The ref comes in to break it up. Both men up quick. You know, showing each other that, you know, they're not done yet. This isn't over with. Collar and elbow tie-up. Inoki trying to go for the arm once again. Dusty's trying to show him he's a little more smarter than that. He's not going to do it again. Bashes Inoki's head into the corner. Once. And through the middle rope to the outside.